in to Athletics LLC with Lamar, Lucius, Big League Chew, and my man Clyde, and the governor. You're about to be schooled in all things track and field. This is experience. Yes, sir. We are talking past, present, future. Y'all listen up. Let's go.
Happy recording day, Athletics LLC. We're back. Welcome one, welcome all. Glad everybody made it home from travels last weekend if you're traveling. Let's get the ball rolling. Governor, how are you?
Oh, you know, this is kind of the welcome to Texas diatribe I'm about to go on. You know, like we're standing there on the track. It is just like we just got hit with a deluge of water, and the kids are looking at me like, "What are we doing today?" And I'm like, "Give it a minute, give it a minute, give it a minute." And then you see the first glimpse of the sun, and you're like, "Oh yeah, we're good, we're good." The sky's clear, and it looks beautiful, and we're out there, and the wind's blowing. And then you realize that this is the absolute worst time as a coach to be out there, because when I came home, oh, my eyes, everything just
crispy.
I slept for about 2 hours this afternoon. Like when I came home,
wow.
I was done. So I'm okay now. It took me a while, but I'm okay.
Welcome to the warmth. I had my space heater on 80 today, so
wow.
I was not afraid.
Oh my God.
Wow.
My office is the place to be today. I'm not even going to give you the pleasure of going next. Clyde, can you hear us?
I can. I'm
How are
thriving
you?
in chaos and traffic.
We'll keep your camera off and respond wisely, please.
Bay Area.
Indeed. Indeed.
So Lucius, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good. I'm good. Hanging in there. Had a great week. It was 82 outside here today, so no need for a heater being on 80,
heater.
See, we've taught him to lean into his first world problems. You know, like he's.
Hey, I mean, like all I'm saying is like, hey, I keep telling you, they're not first world; they're first class problems. So.
What are the reviews from the new Gainesville indoor facility? What have you been hearing?
What I've been hearing is, it was interesting because the first weekend we were in Clemson, the first weekend the meet opened, and Nick Peterson was getting text messages about complaints about runway lengths and stuff like that, as if we designed the building, which we did not.
That's the first reaction people had.
Exactly, like Florida built a track. It's not our track, right? And then the other thing is like people they're not totally enamored with the warm-up space right now. So yeah, but I mean, people have run pretty fast in events. You know, guy jumped 7.3 in there, so you can do some good things. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see. Now, I'm probably going to go next weekend just to watch, you know, competition, just to get a feel for what I want or who I might want to send over there at some point. So
yeah. I feel like I said this today in the offices. I feel like it's such an oxymoron to fly to Florida to go to an indoor meet.
I mean,
like what administration?
Please say that again.
After that part.
Well, see, what the thing is like because you're 12, you don't remember that you know, the O Dome used to be the place to be, right?
Hell yes.
Best last chance meet in the country, no question about it.
Yeah. So the O Dome was like, let's go to the O Dome and get qualified. Now it's like, and then they start building bank tracks. You can't run in the O Dome. The turns are too tight. Man, go ahead.
The turns are too tight. The thing was a circle.
One of the top 5 circular tracks. I mean, that and the Texas Tech track. Good Lord, you just run left, just turn left, and just go.
Just lean in and keep going, right? Yeah.
I'm not kidding you, Big League. I mean, you literally were just
that left hand just stays this way.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. All right. Last but not least, because I had to make you sit in this name. You Lamar Rollhouse. I hate you so much. Literally hate you so much.
Come on, this one's a good one. This one's a good one.
That is actually pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's in your top three. That's in your top three.
I had to pay homage because I feel bouncy today.
Thank you. Sir Lucius, me and you. Me and you.
Oh no, I gave the eyes too. I'm just on black.
Exactly. Yeah. So that makes three of us because
man. With that said,
for the record, do not at me. I know how to spell Ulamar, and I know her last name is not Rollhouse. Okay.
he only knows because he asked.
Okay, but I know, right? Don't try to clown me publicly. I asked.
All right.
My God.
With that chaos, track is officially back. Like it was back before, but it's officially because there were so many marks this weekend.
Am I wrong that like 2 collegiate records in traditional marks already is really fast for the season?
Yeah,
like
I mean, if it's a 300 or something like that, it's not a big deal. That's just because like it's an off event and nobody hardly ever runs it, right?
Right. But the 60 and the 60 hurdles?
The 60 and the 60 hurdles in the same weekend within hours of each other. It's like
they were smooth. Well, I can talk to the hurdles. Smooth.
Yeah.
Like X.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I know we had this kind of discussion on which performance was more impressive, and like, I think they're close for me, but I'm gonna lean on the hurdles, not because I was a hurdler. So before we get that thrown at me, but because her technical model is so much better than it was a year ago.
Yes.
Like it's amazing the transformation she's made. It really is, and like, because we know Flo and because we know his mindset, like this is, I called him, I said, dude, this is out of character for you. You don't do this stuff the second meet in January. You might start this mess at the conference meet. So what the heck she gonna run in March when we go back there, right? So those are 2 to watch. I think that it's been amazing to man, it's like Alfred now has 4 of the top 5 60 marks in history.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
That's amazing.
What else? I'm trying to think.
Well, I mean, I think you have to go back to the week before because Britton Wilson's 125 was pretty.
Yeah.
And that was smooth. So I got to see that one too.
So we got to follow you around and please records get broken.
I mean,
basically. Note to everybody, I accept donations. But yeah, no, it was so smooth and just like, as coaches, we tell them, get out, engage, lock it in, close. It looked like that with like 70%. It was just rolling. And she crossed the line. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, like it's going to be great to see what she does with the hurdles outside. And it's going to be impressive. Now, I'm not sure exactly what she's going to run this year indoors because she can run either the 4 or the 8 if she wanted to. It looks like, right? Because when you can run 125, they bring you through on 130. You're like, I thought y'all wanted to run. Right? So that could get interesting. But I mean, I think she's going to run the quarter. She ran 50 flat outdoors last year, but that just speaks to their training model and the great things they're doing. And a couple of weeks ago, also, I think we have to give a shout out to Jasmine Moore, who now has like 5 or 6 of the top 10 triple jump marks in history.
Yep.
So,
no, it's
yeah. That's all I can say to that is yeah. Jasmine Moore is a cheat code, and it's so awesome to watch.
I mean, going on the men's side, I mean, you're in week 2 and it's at 663 to make the meet right now.
Yeah, right now.
Kind of
so it might take 660 this year, right?
What are we doing here?
It might take 660. I'm just telling you.
And remember, a D2 guy ran 651.
It's absolutely good. It's absolutely going to take 660.
He's not on the list.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And you think about Cone 651. That was impressive.
Yes. Yes.
Very
yes.
impressive because he's not known as a starter, but he led that race from gun to the line. That was impressive. Ricky Argo's done a great job with him and cleaning up some front side stuff with him, but like that was impressive. I'm gonna go home and give my girl Cleeta Diggs a shout out for her 7:14, 36-1 double, tying the great Sid the Kid's 300-meter mark. So that was pretty cool.
Yep. I mean, am I right in assuming that by the time she's done with her collegiate career, she's going to have some pretty hot marks from the 60 all the way up to the 4? I mean, is that?
I mean,
okay.
they're already pretty hot. I mean, she's 7-1, she's 7:14, 36-1, 11:24, 22-6, and 49-9. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Those seem to be ranging from good to pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
she's pretty locked in.
778 right now to get in the men's hurdles. I mean, that's decent, but I think that's
and because the hurdles is such a rhythm event that if it's 778 already, it's going to take 72 to get in.
Yeah.
It'll take 72 to get
in. Sheesh. Yeah.
The 60 though. I remember last year I had y'all on 60 watch every week, and I'm gonna keep doing it this year. But we're already at 663, and there's a bunch of people who haven't run yet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's like what's the good Florida State kid's name? The one that was he was 3rd or 4th in the 100 last year. JoJo.
Yes.
JoJo Martin.
Yeah. Yes.
Like he hasn't run yet.
Yeah.
And he's a 994 dude, so he can run under 6'6". There's people like him.
There's a bunch of people who haven't run yet, and you're just like, man, listen.
Has the Indiana guy run yet?
Nope.
Wisconsin, is the Wisconsin guy still there? Lawrence Johnson?
Not
sure. Is that really his name?
It is, yeah.
Does his friends call him Boogie?
Oh my God.
No. But Boogie did post a picture of the two of them last year that said the fastest Lawrence Johnson in America was the other guy.
That's really funny.
He did. He gave him a shout out.
Yeah.
But I think, when you talk about track being back, it's like things are going to get hot. Razorback this weekend. And there's a plethora of great teams and athletes going there. And so next week we'll have a track that's back segment that might take the whole show, almost just off the Razorback itself.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that New Mexico is going to be off the rails next week too.
Week from not this coming weekend, but the following week.
Yeah,
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2
Don
weeks.
Kirby.
Yeah,
Don Kirby.
Yeah.
So the same weekend as Tyson, or the weekend between?
Yeah, February 10th weekend.
February 10th.
Okay, because Tyson's supposed to be off the rails as well. So
Oh,
I mean, Tyson is always off the
Tyson
rails.
always is, yeah. And then Clemson will be hot that week. I mean, the next 3 weeks will take the list and turn them upside down.
Upside down, yeah.
What did we all think of the ATL competition up in Iowa?
I
really didn't pay attention to it.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Oh.
Other than 784, it was all right. Like, not as a shot. I just mean like it wasn't. Look, we've talked about this before. Like, pro track indoors is so spotty in a year without a championship. Because it's like literally a choice. I think half the people that run, they run because they're bored, which I get.
Chuck Anikashe just threw the world lead last weekend there.
Yeah, 21-20, and it looked like a training throw.
Yeah.
Did you? Was it the former Ole Miss thrower tied the world record in the women's weight?
Really?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. I think it was at Vanderbilt or someplace like that. I forget where it was, but she tied the world record.
Did it make the list?
I was gonna make that.
But we all got the email today that makes it easier to make that happen now, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah.
So please expound on that. I'm inquiring minds want to know.
Well, basically, like, there's a link you go to, and there's just things you have to apply for, and it was like last week it was $1,000 per meet. Now this week it's $100 per meet. So yeah, so there's no excuse.
Which I found very interesting. You meet director X has to jump through like 6 steps to get their meet on the list for World Athletics, and USATF is charging $100 for this, but you ain't doing none of the work, bro.
No, yeah, they are. They're providing the link.
They're providing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Now there's some good money if you can get it. $100 per link.
You're paying for someone to do this, like
exactly. Yeah,
there you go.
$100 per link.
Right.
Nice.
Hey, it's good. It's a great living if you can do it. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, something got to fund these salaries, right?
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
We're not going there.
No, that was a cannon fire. That's what that.
I like it though. That was. I'm here for it.
I said that if Texas isn't doing it just via Texas Relays alone, I'm not moving the finger. Like until I know that Flo's got his deal doing it, I'm not moving a finger.
No, Flo was one of the first people that made mention of it. So that's one thing about him. Like he's very detailed with stuff like that, and he'll pick up the phone and he'll call Sam and he'll encourage Sam to to get things done.
Encourage or
exactly.
Encourage?
No. Encourage. Now, I get the phone call, big dog. You need to call Sam. We need to make sure this gets done.
Yep.
I call Sam. He goes, Eric always called and yelled at me, so I'm good. So
just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
So I have a petty question to ask.
Yeah, we're sure.
So is the world lead in the women's hurdles listed as the actual mark or the altitude adjusted mark?
But that's not the world.
The actual mark.
Because it wasn't a.
I know, big league. It's not listed at all.
Yeah.
But I think it's hilarious because if it were listed and you don't know no better, this is how ridiculous our sport is. If you don't know no better, you would look at that and be like, well, one of these is wrong.
Right.
Because it will be listed on the world list as the actual mark. But it's listed on the NCAA list as the adjusted mark.
And on the same token, Julian Alfred's 702 is #1 on the list.
Yes, it is.
It is there at 702.
But how?
Listed.
Because that meet was
New Mexico did the work.
Yeah, New Mexico paid that $100.
They got the memo.
Okay, think about. I just told you who was the big charge behind this.
Right,
Texas. So
Texas
he
make sure.
So he got it. Oh look,
wait a minute. That email went out yesterday. That was after Saturday.
But Flo's been on this for Flo called me 3 weeks ago. Are you getting Florida Relays and Tom Jones registered? Because I want to come to Tom Jones and none of my marks count. No, Flo has been on this. He's not going to a meeting if he can't get his marks.
This is truly a new era. You now have to think, okay, I've got some world beaters on my squad. Am I going to get on a bus or a plane and go to a meet and have these results not count? And the answer is hell to the no.
You see, Jasmine Moore's marks aren't count right now, not for the world stuff, because Clemson wasn't registered. Yeah. Nah, don't worry. She's going to jump further later. Don't worry about it.
What I thought was funny about all of this is somehow
that's what I told
the five of us were 6 months ahead of the rest of the country. When we were talking about this 5 months ago.
So true story, throwing conversations under the bus this morning, people were up in arms in our group chat and I didn't respond. I was like, they're going to get there. They're going to get there sooner or later. They're going to get there. They're going to figure it out. And I'm like, they're not getting there fast enough. And so literally write like a 3-page letter stating everything that's been conversed about here. And I'm like, do you care or not care? And they're like, well, we should. And I'm like, it's the TCU invite on March 17th.
I mean,
now I will say for $100, sure, we'll care.
Yes. Yeah.
But for the 1,000, I'm sorry.
No.
That's 2 pole poles.
Can I
What are we doing?
Are we people under the bus real fast though?
What?
So USATF is charging this $100, right?
But they haven't filed their paperwork yet.
But they filed their paperwork for their own national championships after the deadline.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
The whole reason this window is open is because, are you ready for this? USA Indoors, USA Outdoors were not on the list.
So Mr. Rollhouse, I mean, are we supposed to be disclosing this information? Are we?
I don't care. I told you, I choose violence.
He a baseball agent.
Look, we were having this conversation at the annual meeting because the reason it was relevant to me, the whole reason I was at the annual meeting was the combined events, because there was not a combined event on the global challenge.
Wow.
On this side of the world.
Wow.
And now they're lobbying for 2.
Right. And now they have Mount Sac is, USA's is.
Yep.
And look, given what we just found out about Flow, Texas Relays is.
You know it.
As well, Florida Relays and Tom Jones will be.
Hold on.
But let's be clear. None of those meets, by the letter of the law, should have been allowed on the calendar until next year.
Next year.
But because there were no US meets on the calendar.
So who dropped the ball?
Everybody.
Listen,
the question is,
the show has to be an hour. We can't have that conversation.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Will the pro meets in Florida be on the list? I don't mean the Gainesville meet.
We know.
Here's the thing. Like, are we in a situation now, like, where things are happening in real time? So everybody threw their arms up 2 weeks ago. Are we getting these meets being put on the list because of that? Is it that, are we that deep into this mess?
Yes.
They're now opening the window up again.
Yes, because see, listen, look, we've said this a bunch of times. We've said this a bunch of times, but I'm gonna say it one time clearly so everybody who watches our show can hear it. World athletics is only concerned with the optics of things. So when they're getting trashed on the worldwide internet for having the fastest marks in the world not be listed on their World Athletics list, how do we fix this seamlessly?
Yep.
Bob's your uncle. Right? Because now, if your mark's not on the list, right? Because you're not in compliance. We've given you the opportunity to be in compliance, to put your meets on there. So now it's not our fault.
That's right.
Right. Which and basically that was the gist of the email we all got. Like, we need to get this done.
Yeah,
so
I think
TCU invitation needs to be on there, Chief. Listen.
Listen, Chu. If it's not, somebody gonna come there and run 999, 997.
Or exactly.
With the funny
like,
gauge.
I didn't see that coming.
I'm gonna be like,
so do you put this information in your home meet information now? Like, disclaimer, we're on the list. Like, seriously.
Well, see, the thing is, like, if you have to, like, Matt Downs at Arkansas is one of the best DOPs on the planet. So when you get the information from him, I'll share the meet information with you guys tomorrow. Like, it is very detailed. Who, where, when, what, why. And oh, by the way, we are in compliance with the World Athletics, Like, he covers everything. He tells you what's going to happen, what would happen if he didn't do it. He goes as far as to tell you that the officials will let you know if you would have been disqualified by World Athletic rules, but not because you're in the NCAA. He said it's going to be in the meet notes. So
this dude
World Athletics, you only get one step on the line.
Right?
World Athletics, you get one step on the line. NCAA, you get 2 consecutive, right?
Yeah.
So you can step on the line once and still be okay NCAA wise, but in the notes it's going to say won't count for World Athletics.
Listen, I love all of these people late to the party who are now Uber official. I love it. Look, there was a clip. There was a clip taken from the Flow Track podcast, and these dudes were just going on and on and on and pontificating about, about exactly what we talked about 5 months ago. These marks aren't on the list, and the meet directors have been lazy and not done their paperwork. And I'm like, you're not even saying the truth, but okay. But hey, look, you know what? Welcome to the party, everybody.
Somebody's got to be amused.
What are we on to pro football now?
Yep.
And the musings of how the Giants got drilled last week.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Oh,
wow.
I see.
Wow.
I'm always up for this. If we're choosing violence, let's get negative.
I mean, don't you have to be?
The Eagles chose violence, so why not? Yeah.
Let's get negative. Look, I live in Texas. I'll go first on this one. I live in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And yes, there were definitely some people who came for me on Saturday because my Giants lost. And I was like, unlike most of y'all will be tomorrow, because I predicted this nonsense that happened. I was like, I'm not upset because my team's roster doesn't belong in the playoffs. And it was a good run. There's only one way we can win. I've said this like 10 times. We didn't do that, and we got thrashed. But we're on the up arrow, right? The very next day, the Cowboys, my shock face, lose to a better roster. It shouldn't have been a big deal, right? Like, look, we just need to do this and that, get better, and we'll take them down next year. But that's not the narrative, because as soon as the Cowboys win 2 games in a row, they're going to be Super Bowl champs. So then, of course, the fallout the following day is now we got to explain why we're not going to be Super Bowl champs, and we got to all point the fingers. So now let's see. We need a new coach because Mike McCarthy's trash. All of a sudden, Kellen Moore's not a good play caller.
May I interrupt and ask a question?
Yeah.
Is this the NFL playoff segment, or is this the Dallas Cowboys trash segment?
Yes. All of the above.
No.
Do they have to be mutually exclusive?
The NFL playoffs, my man.
Sir, you started this. You
No, I did
started
not.
with the Giants got trashed. You didn't start that?
Hold on a second. They got trashed. I didn't go into this diatribe about.
There's no diatribe. We got smashed.
Exactly.
But there's a diatribe about the Cowboys.
Exactly. We don't need to talk about that.
They were talking about all day.
Okay. The bottom line is this: the Cowboys lost.
Look,
and
at the end of the day,
deserved to lose.
What happened this wonderful weekend is the 4 best teams in the NFL are left. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You see how much easier that was?
Look, it didn't need to be easy.
Yeah.
I could make it easy, but I won't.
So at the end of the day, okay, look, the Cowboys lost, and we knew they were going to lose. And look, I'll be the first one to tell you, I was pulling for them. I was. I gave you guys my reasons why. I wanted to go into that. But at the end of the day, I think they were going to beat. I was shocked the game was that close. I was.
Yeah.
I think if you're a true fan of football, there's no way you thought the Cowboys were going to hold them 19 points. No way.
Yeah.
No chance.
No.
But then, you go to the other games. The Chiefs got issues with if Mahomes can't play, they got issues.
Yep.
They got issues if he can't play.
Yeah.
The Eagles were clearly the best team on that field. And
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Ooh,
Wow.
Boy.
I cannot wait for this weekend. I cannot wait for this weekend.
Man, listen, that performance in those conditions. I mean, look, that
they beat him in every facet of the game, didn't they?
every single, like, can they protect Joe Burrow? They've got 3 offensive linemen out, all this stuff. Ooh, they didn't touch him. They did not touch him.
You know what 2 teams in the NFL refuse to change their DNA no matter who's playing on the team? The Bills and the Chargers.
Yeah.
They are who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I may.
Please do. That was an alley-oop for you, sir.
If I may. I thoroughly enjoyed the weekend.
I bet you did.
But to the Bills issue, coaching matters, and the New York Football Giants with a limited roster.
Limited? That's nice.
Limited roster made it as far as they did because of coaching.
100%.
Yep.
The
Possibly
Buffalo
the
Bills,
best coaching job in the league.
Absolutely.
the Buffalo Bills are where that coach came from, and they desperately miss that man.
Yep.
Josh Allen desperately misses that man.
Yep.
It's not good moving forward. Josh Allen is awesome. He's amazing talent, but without Dayball, it's been a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't really see it getting much better. The fact that Burrow has emerged is a big, big problem.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, phenomenal game. I don't remember the professional commentator, but who said this, but he hit it right on the head. He's like, Cincinnati was playing offense and Buffalo was just calling plays. Like, it just didn't make any sense what they were doing.
It's true.
It didn't make any sense.
Look, help me with this one. You are the Buffalo Bills, right? And you do all the things you do to put together your roster to have home field advantage, right? Then you get to play in a snowstorm in Buffalo weather.
Yes.
You have White Cam Newton as your quarterback, and you don't run him.
Yes.
Best athlete on the field.
Yes.
Drop back and chuck it in the snow. Like, hey, it makes so much sense.
Josh Allen would have been icing up still, because I would have still been calling run plays for him.
Absolutely.
So, that game was irritating but entertaining to watch. I thought Jacksonville was valiant. They gave it a good run.
Oh,
They were happy to be there, and they did a good job.
That might, and honestly, the Cowboys defense. I'm not talking about that other side of the ball. The Cowboys defense and the Jaguars as a whole were the most impressive things I saw. They were both very valiant, as you said.
Yes.
The Cowboys defense played an elite game.
They did.
Absolutely.
Here's the problem. There's certain things in sport that are just true. The Clippers are going to clip, Cowboys are going to cowboy, and Dak ain't good enough. It just is what it is. It's been 8 years. Cowboy Nation, not the governor, Cowboy Nation needs to accept reality. The boy ain't good enough.
Because here's the reality of it. You can't. It very rarely can you win the big one without an elite quarterback. It's happened on occasion.
Yes.
But to quote my man Daryl Anderson, he has to at least be serviceable, right? That's not even serviceable. He's not.
Oh man.
I mean, he's a nice enough guy. He says the right things. But no, he's not even serviceable. You can't win with that kind of quarterback play.
Like, okay, let's call it what it is.
Listening to the pundits today talk about how they need more weapons around Dak.
No.
I was like, no, what's left?
When the score was 9-9, okay? What else do you need to understand that manage the game? Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
That boy threw a game-ending pick six that was dropped.
Look, man, like the throw to Gallup literally stops in his tracks and just waits there. Like, you're playing against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Don't just you're not gonna. Okay, the dude is right there. You can't feel him. That interception, to me, I was just like, okay. For one,
so for those of you who don't understand, what you just witnessed in the last 30 seconds is the frustration of a Dallas Cowboy fan. He wants to jump off a bridge because he's frustrated. And look, like I said, the Dallas has some elite talent on that team.
No doubt.
But I question their coaching strategies, and I definitely will always question the quarterback play, because Dak, not trying to trash the guy, but you're trying to win a Super Bowl, I don't think he's the guy. I just
no.
It's very difficult to win high-level playoff games or a Super Bowl with a quarterback that needs things. Right? Like you can win football games with that. I mean, we did this year, the Giants did this year with Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's be clear. He's not good enough for us to win a Super Bowl, but we're not in a Super Bowl conversation either. Right. And we're about to pay him more money than we should because we don't have a choice. We're stuck in the middle. But when you pay somebody like Dak Superman quarterback money,
yeah,
the expectations come with it. And the unfortunate part is, like, everybody else in his pay class has shown championship mettle. All of them.
And see, that's what was so funny about this. When the whole drama, because it played out for a while, right? Of pay Dak, right? I used to have these arguments daily. I'm like, I don't like the Cowboys. I want them to pay Dak so I can keep laughing at this. You people love your team. Why do you want him to get $40 million? And half of them, straight up, they were rooting for the black thing. And I get it. Like, I get that. We want to see the black guys do well playing QB, but he's not that guy. You pay Mahomes. You pay Russ. Maybe not now, but
people
then.
who deserve to be paid.
Right. Like, he was never that guy.
Right.
If you would have paid him 25 what he's worth, your team would be better.
Dallas does what the Cowboys do, and they do silly stuff. Right?
Yeah.
You trade one guy, and you give away 8 people. That was Dallas, right? Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, so at the end of the day, I mean, they are who they are. But like, who we got this weekend? Like, who's going?
I was gonna say, who's going into
all right,
coming out of the weekend?
Cincinnati,
Niners, Eagles, Bengals, Chiefs.
Cincinnati, San Francisco.
Cincinnati and the Eagles.
Cincinnati and the Eagles.
Oh, so you're all on the Bengals.
Yeah.
Hold on,
that.
Okay.
Love that energy. I picked the Chiefs at the beginning of the year, so I'm going to stay right there.
No. Hold on. Wait a minute. Sorry. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm going Chiefs, Eagles.
No.
Chiefs,
you're all
Eagles.
on the Bengals.
No. Chiefs, Eagles. Sorry.
And I will be glad to sit here just the same way I did during the college football playoffs. We won't go there either and be laughing at you because the Bengals are going to win.
The governor and I are on the same page.
Yes.
The Chiefs, and for the record,
the wrong side of the page.
I obviously can't go nowhere. I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl when we started school.
Yeah, so, but you can always admit you're wrong. I mean,
why would I? I'm not.
You are.
You are.
You'll admit it. You'll admit it next week. Don't worry.
Okay.
Didn't we have this exact same discussion?
I hope you have this same energy.
Hold on a
next
second.
week.
Can I talk to Big League for a second?
Yeah. Call her on the phone and you can mute yourselves.
I'm gonna talk to her right now. So, you have a very good memory, and I think you would remember we had this exact same discussion about the Bengals and the Chiefs a year ago.
It was.
And I've yet to hear him admit he was wrong.
I admitted then that it wasn't wrong. They lost. I admitted that. What are you talking about?
You were wrong. Okay. So anyway, what's the next topic, Chu? Because Chuck and I are going to be laughing at y'all this week. We are.
This will be great.
All right. So
limping or not, the Chiefs going down.
Oh my God.
They couldn't beat us when he was healthy. How they gonna beat us now when he's got like half a leg? Man.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So the other fun email that came out last week, or call it email. It wasn't an email. We talked about it in compliance meetings this week. There is a new coaching limitation legislation that is passed and is effective July 1. Specifically, track and field will no longer have volunteer coaches, and each staff can have a paid coach in place of those volunteer coaches. So the eligibility is up to 6, 1 for every season per gender. But it has to be university sponsored. You can't pay Coach Smith out the back pocket. It has to be a university sponsored position. Yes, sir.
Point of clarity. Because my understanding is you don't have to pay these people now. You just can.
Right.
It's not that you can't have volunteers anymore.
Exactly. But you can now pay them. So think about it like this, right? So what the NCAA has done is taken the onus off of them. Because before you could have these additional 6 coaches, but they had to be volunteers. So what are you doing? You're now restricting people's earnings again.
That's right.
Right.
That's
So
right.
now they're saying you can have the volunteers if you want, but you can also pay up to additional 6 coaches.
Yep.
Right.
So my other point of clarity is
I'm asking this question. Are we sure that that is the actual legal ramifications in track? Because I know that's not the word, that's not the verbiage in baseball. Like literally,
no, right. It's different. It's different in baseball.
Okay, so that's why I was asking. Because I don't know, but I can
Right.
tell you in baseball they have eliminated the volunteer position.
Right.
There used to be 3 paid and 1 volley. Now they have 4 paid and no.
But see, it's easier to eliminate in baseball because they only had 1 to add.
Yes, I agree.
So you can't eliminate them all in track because and this leads to my point. There is no one who is getting 6 additional coaches.
Yeah, what can you do with 12 coaches anyway?
Exactly. Okay, exactly. Let's start right there.
Let me throw this because I know you have important info for us. I just need a point of clarification.
Okay.
If anyone's gonna find out what you can do with them, it's gonna be in Gainesville. I just want to know how many applications you've had this week.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He is wrong.
Like
because I have to have something posted to the application, so he's wrong. Okay. So anyway, so let's just think about it like this, and I have one of my ADs who helps me understand stuff when in situations like this, right? So if you give the people the baseballs and the softballs, they get 1, right? And then let's say you give everybody else they can have more than two, right? That's almost $2 million a year in extra money. Nobody's getting 6 track coaches, folks. Yes. It's not going to happen. Most, and be honest with you, some people are lucky to get 1 or 2. Right. So this is because you just can't look at and that's if the 1 point is like 1.6 to $2 million if everybody gets paid $45,000.
Man.
Right.
That's at $45,000. It's almost
benefits are expensive, folks.
Entry level positions, right?
Benefits.
So if they're all entry level positions, it's going to cost the university another $2 million. Not getting them. Not getting them.
So
I mean, it's a wonderful
first-class
gesture.
problems.
They are exactly. I like that. See, first class. That sounds so much better.
Here's what I'll say. I don't know if anybody's going to get to 12. I doubt it. But I will say this.
Oh, I have some.
There will definitely be there's going to be a staff or 2 or 3 in the SEC that will have the most. Whatever that number is, whether it's 10, 11, 9, whatever it is.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this. I'm going to say that the number will be 8 to 9. I see that coming. But 10, 11, 12. No, first of all, what am I doing with? I need 10 coaches.
I mean, listen, your model's a little different, sir. Your model's a little different, but I could see, the 800-meter coach, the mile coach, the 10K coach, the steeple coach.
See that
the men's pole vault coach, the women's pole vault coach.
Yes.
You see, Rollhouse and I had this discussion about 6 weeks ago. Now, there's a position that will get filled. Like the single gender staff will now, if I'm a single gender staff, you got, and we've dealt with this, right, Governor, where you got one field event coach trying to coach everything, right? Yeah. So now there's going to be a guy that's throw centered and a guy that's jump centered. Yep. So that will happen in the single gender program. There will be in a dual gender program, there will be somebody that's dedicated solely to the pole vault.
Yeah.
But that's still never getting you to 10.
Right.
There's no need for 10.
Right.
Right. Like how many volunteer coaches are really coaching?
This is true.
Unless it's the pole vault. How many are really coaching?
Oh, but I could justify 10, but 2 of those coaches are literally not coaching anybody. 2 of those coaches they're not even glorified. They are recruiting coordinators. Like literally your job is to recruit.
Yes.
But let's be clear. It's for some people, it's not even going to be about the coaching. It's going to be about the label. What? I can go work at Oregon now? I can go work at TAMU now. I can go work at Florida now. Doesn't matter if I have to hold Mouse and stop watch and bring him some water. I'm getting paid $60,000 a year to bring some water.
I don't disagree with that, but I don't think the positions are going to be available. That's my point.
Yeah.
There's no world I'm expecting my AD to come in. Hey, you can hire 4 more coaches.
So I see this situation benefiting Arkansas.
Yeah, they're on the list.
Oh, I didn't know he was going to name teams because I definitely got a list.
I mean, it's. I mean,
I just gave you 5 of them.
That is clear.
Okay. So here's the thing. See, I'm going to say what the governor's about to say. Like, it helps the single gender program.
Yes.
Because they're the ones that need the help.
Yes.
There's not a lot of those out there now.
Okay. Let's take Arkansas, right? There's a guy there coaching the throws that's a volunteer that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I guarantee he's on staff next year.
Yep.
Right?
Sure.
Come July 1, he'll get named as a full-time coach. Right?
Yes.
Right? And then on the women's side, right? You don't think Chris Johnson's going, like, I got a guy that all he really does is the pole vault. Now I can go out and find somebody to coach the throws.
Yep.
Right.
And
so
a
it's
guy
going
to
to help
coach
the
the
single
jumps.
gender program. Exactly right. You know, that kind of deal, right. So
this idea came to me. I don't think there'll be a lot of this out there in the world, but I think it's an interesting opportunity as a person that used to be in these type of positions, right? If this was a couple years ago and I had an athlete, you know, training at my place, like a Jacqueline Coward who's elite, but not on contract, now I can hire them and make sure that they can eat. You know what I mean? If you have those
that will
kind
happen
of
in some instances.
and that'll happen on some campuses for sure. The athletes who are hanging around to train can get jobs.
Yeah, that's another curious one, because I mean, have any administrators talked about whether or not those athletes will be allowed to stay on as volunteers? I mean, I think you began to clear that up. I just wanted to get some clarity on that. So it doesn't mean that the volunteer position disappears.
No.
Okay.
Because understand that's the first thing I asked.
Yeah.
I have some volunteers and I'm like, to be clear,
yeah,
do I have to pay these people? Because somebody better run me some more money.
Right.
Think about it like this. Okay, so this all comes about because the NCAA says you can have these people, but you can't pay them. So now they're restricting their earnings, right? So now if you tell them like you have to go away, you know, it's just another can of worms open up. So now the onus falls on the university. Like you can have 6 volunteers, you know, but nobody's telling you can't pay them.
Okay.
Right. And for a lot of people, let's be real, there's a lot of programs that have used that as an excuse for a long time. Like, hey, man, I just can't do it. Now it's like, oh, you can, you just won't do it. And that'll be interesting. Right.
Because like, think about it like this. We talk about the first world problems, right? How many people out there can really afford to pay 2 more coaches?
Yeah.
Oh, the vast majority cannot.
Right.
Absolutely not.
You know?
And when I say vast majority, I'm talking about even the vast majority of Power 5 schools cannot.
I mean, again, all this does is allow people to have a little money to pay 1 or 2 more coaches, but there's not going to be these huge staffs of 12 people walking around. And there's not going to be this plethora of opportunities for people out there to get these jobs that people are imagining, because it's just not going to happen. Because with these things comes money, and at $1.5 to $2 million a year, that's just not an easy drop in the bucket.
Well, Sir Lucius, you will not convince me that posting or unposting, you ain't gonna have 100 applications in your inbox.
I'm sure that after people see the show this week, they will, because you tell them to reach out.
Oh, absolutely. Please send all emails.
All emails.
Don't even send them to the ops. Send them directly to the man.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll forward every one of them to you just because you
Mouse at Gators. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
it's on the website. It's on the website.
Don't help them.
Oh man.
If I remember correctly, there was one stipulation to what you're saying, is that the volunteer coaches cannot coach.
Mm-hmm.
They only can be operational. They cannot function on the track in that type of manner.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
so
I'm not sure about that.
that's so
because
How would you know?
Then they're not a volunteer coach. I mean, okay, again, I will delve into this and let you know. But from what I was told, yeah, you can still have 6 volunteer coaches.
Interesting.
You just cannot be legislated that you can't pay them.
Right.
yeah.
Right. This is now the freedom
Right.
to pay.
You
The
can
whole
pay them. So the whole thing is just saying the NCAA is not telling you what you can't do pay wise. You can still have up to 12 coaches, and you can pay as many of them as you wish.
The NCAA doesn't want
big
anybody
league.
coming at them talking about what they can and can't do. Like, no, sir.
Because-
Florida said they can't pay you. Don't talk to us.
Exactly.
So big
Right,
league.
that's exactly
So
what this is.
What this boils down to, big league, is that you heard something, right? That was almost the same thing that Sir Lucius heard. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, interpretations.
Exactly.
AKA compliance.
Some
They're not rules, it's
compliances,
interpretations.
some compliance offices are can do. Some compliance offices are
Won't do.
won't do.
Well, see, and you think about it like this too. Like, if you just look at the way it's structured, like I said, baseball was easy, right? The volunteer coach goes away because they only had one. So now you can have an extra staff person. So you can't have volunteers. Track's tricky because we had 6.
Yep.
And there's no way that anybody's going to say the volunteers have to go away, because then now you're limiting opportunities, because they realize that everybody cannot and will not pay 6 coaches.
So Sir Lucius, this is the side conversation that's being had, because if the terminology and the legislation was saying that these volunteer positions go away, what I experienced at Florida and Florida State, those 6 years of being in the trenches and being guided and being mentored and shown, okay, this is what it takes. Now you are literally killing the coaching profession, because any young coach that is looking to get into the business and has an opportunity to volunteer, I'll be the first person, hey man, get over there, all right, and start at the bottom and learn about how this profession works.
Yeah, get your hand in the sand and get your hands dirty.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm glad that we've cleared that up, because it needs to be said that the mentorship, the teaching aspect of it, the firsthand learning has to continue if we're going to continue to bring young coaches up in this business.
Yep.
Was anybody else the example in their compliance meeting? Because we were definitely the example.
I'm only positive examples in my meetings.
Oh God.
Hey. Sheesh.
Though I will say that there are many rules coming out from the transformation committee that are hilarious. I mean, wait till everybody gets a whiff of this 25% of teams in the basketball tournament thing coming. That's wild.
Anyways, oh my gosh. All right, last question. It's wordy, so I'll read it with flow, hopefully. Why is it that we hear female coaches belaboring the point that more female coaches need to be hired, but when a female gets a head coach position, she hires mostly men?
So I think
It's a very petty question.
This is a very petty question, but here's the thing. It's a really good segue from where we just came from, right? Because in theory, now we have a really easy way to bring more females into coaching.
In theory.
It's definitely in theory, right? But in theory, now we have really the answer to fix the problem, because I think the answer to the question in a lot of times is people want to win. Usually you win with more experienced coaches. And there are fewer and fewer experienced and talented female coaches to actually apply for those positions, because the ones who have some skin in the game pretty much are all head coaches now, and or don't want to be, right? And then the ones who don't are all are in entry level positions, in which case I don't know that they if you take over a program, because if someone was fired and then now you're hired to take over a program, you're probably not starting with the entry level people, right? So I agree that it's one of those conundrums that I don't know that there's a clean, viable answer to. I know as an African American, when I was hired as a head coach at Cal, immediately I was, behind closed doors, expected to have a staff of 5 other Black people, and I was like, I don't get that.
Okay, so that's exactly where I was gonna go with this. It's a petty question. I'm gonna give a petty answer. Listen, it's absolutely a numbers game. Period. Absolutely a numbers game. That's the easy and truthful and direct way to answer that. If you want to delve into the pettiness of it, and I'm not saying I agree with this, I actually totally disagree with this, but it's just true that minorities suffer from ill-perceived notions of what it would mean. So you're not going to get a woman. Chu gets director of track and field at place X. Chu's not going to sit there and hire 6 women under her.
Wow.
Because the perception of that is that it's weird or it's wrong. It would just not go down that way. Black coach X rarely has a staff of all Black coaches. We see white men and women have nothing but all white staffs. That happens. That happens a lot. At very prominent places, it happens all the time. It's happened systematically for a long time, right? But that's the perception of what's quote unquote normal. So when you get a minority in this position, a person of color, especially the double, triple minority of the woman, it would be so out of normal for that woman to step in there and hire a majority female staff, just a majority female staff. Often you barely see them hire one other female. And I think it's from a subconscious perception of what norm should be. I would love to see it if I'm ever in a position where I had multiple quality candidates at positions I needed. I'd love to hire nothing but women, to a staff that I was running. But to Lamar's point, how many quality candidates are there across the events, across the spectrum? It's hard to find. It's a numbers game. It absolutely is. But I do think that there's a subconscious perception of what that would look like. And I think most people are just scared to death to do it.
For me, I think it's more about, if I'm hired at a major Power 5 university, I'm hired to win. And so I'm going to go out and find the coaches who have been proven winners. And I'm not trying to be sexist here at all, but there's not a plethora of women coaches out there that have proven that they have performed at the highest level, because most of the people that are performing at that level have good jobs already. So as Rollhouse said, the talent pool is not as deep. And if you're charged to win, you can't hire your staff based on people because they look like you, or because you want people to look a certain way. You have to hire people that you think can help you win and be successful. And that's what happens in this situation. I think it's pretty simple. That's not a knock on female coaches. I've been saying this for years, that if we want more female coaches, we need to have more candidates. By that, I mean people that are actually in the field, getting their hands dirty and learning.
It's the when I did my master's in sports management at Florida State, one of the things that was, one of the hot topics and still is, was Title IX. And even back then, they were talking about how Title IX was designed to increase the amount of female coaches in sports. And the opposite has happened. And the perception, I think, of what a coach should be and how a coach should conduct his or herself and the idea of winning and all of that, I think is definitely skewed to one side. And the coaches that have enjoyed success year after year after year after year are often male coaches. And, I think a lot of this has to do with perceived success, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're trying to win, you are trying to go out and hire winners. You're trying to go out and hire folks with proven records. And this is where we're at. I mean, if you look at NCAA Division I athletics, there are 283 male head coaches, and there's 64 female head coaches in the NCAA.
And that's crazy.
Isn't it? And it's the same subsection from cross country as well. So that in itself, I mean, and I'll also say this, what it takes to be a successful coach in the NCAA is, it's a very difficult job to do. It is a very unforgiving job. There are so many layers to it. And I think when you boil it down, like it is, I mean, I can only go off what I'm seeing and what the actions have been and what the practices have been of some of the most successful female coaches in our era. And it's the same thing. They're going after the best coach. They're not thinking, I want to have, or I want to be someone that breaks the mold.
And that's why it's a petty question.
Yeah.
Because the spirit of it, and I could be wrong, I'm sure I'll get a DM and say, no, that's not what I meant. The spirit of the question is this. These women talk a lot about uplifting women in the sport, but when they're in the chair, they don't drag these other women with them. No, because when you get in the chair, you want to stay in the chair and you do exactly what everybody else in the chair does. You try to find the best coaches available, regardless of who they are.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what everybody who's trying to win does.
Yeah.
So it's a petty ass question because it's, why aren't you doing more for your people? The same way it's petty when you throw that question to a minority race candidate, right? Like, stop it. It's a petty question. I appreciate the petty question, but I'm not going to sit here and throw shots at anybody who's trying to hire who they believe to be the best people for their jobs. Because it took a hell of a lot to get in that seat, and you ain't trying to lose it to make a point. It don't make any sense.
Along those lines, when Big League becomes the head coach, is she supposed to hire 5 minority females?
Asian women, all of them.
Who are Asian.
5 Asian women?
Yes, all of them.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man.
If I could give one thread of advice to this topic, beyond the topics and points that you all made on this, the biggest one that I know that everyone talks about in the hiring process is we only want to hire people that we know are going to be trustworthy and loyal. I think that supersedes the points that you all made just now. And one of the common comments that are made thereafter are, they're onto a whole bunch of female coaches that we can trust because they feel like they're out to get their jobs, or the female coaches are just there to supersede the line, let's call it that way. And from female to female, comments are made about, you know, they're all just coming from my job or backstabbing or bad mouthing at that. As a up and coming female coach, we don't have to judge everyone that we see.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to make the comment of how they get that job or why are they there or what did they do that I didn't do. It's uplift, move forward, embrace and learn their way, because that could be your next path.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's not the topic, but I know that this is one of the bigger barriers that female coaches encounter, is we can't get out of our own way sometimes. So not to say that's isolated to the female species, definitely happens to the male species just as often, if not the same. So
Can I throw one more nugget in there on top of that? Because
I had one more petty comment.
It partners. Mine's not petty. Look, moving forward in coaching, we talk about mentors and mentees a lot, right? It's got to be okay for you to be a female coach and have a male mentor. It can't just be females. It's also got to be okay to be a male mentor and have a female mentee. Right? Like for whatever reason, the cross-gender mentor-mentee thing almost seems taboo sometimes. And I'm kind of like, to the point we've all been making about those who have the most experience, broad stroke, and those who have the most success, broad stroke, there are far more males in that category than females. So if you want to learn from the best, right, it may be a female, but it may also very well be a male. And that's got to be okay. Right? You can't feel like you're being talked down to because someone is mentoring you.
No, that's very true. I just, again, the question suggests that when person X gets hired, the applicant pool should all be coming from the women in coaching seminar at the convention. And that doesn't make doesn't make any sense at all.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was a stroke of genius right there. That was spectacular.
oh my gosh.
What I do, baby. That's what I do.
Anyways,
Chew,
On
you
that
got your all Asian female applicant list prepared.
Who's on the hot seat tonight?
I was just getting ready. I took the breath to say it.
Oh,
Clyde, you're up, sir.
Oh, damn. I shot on my bullets already. Go ahead.
All right. Would you rather have socks that don't fit or underwear that doesn't fit?
oh my God. See,
that was
okay.
Sir Lucius, you know that you would assume that was the question she would have asked you.
Okay, now look.
No, it's specifically for him.
It's slightly suspect, but I know somewhere in the world, certain people are laughing at this because I've literally lived through this recently.
Oh my God.
The answer is I would rather have socks that do not fit. The underwear thing is no good. No good at all.
Oh my God.
All right. Would you rather carry an umbrella or wear a rain suit?
Rain suit. Umbrellas, I mean, I might start the day with one, but I'm not going to end it with one. It's going to disappear somewhere.
Crocs or slides?
Crocs are trash. Slides are trash. I don't want either one.
Oh my God. This guy. But Crocs have sport mode.
Yeah. Give me my K-Swiss and my Chucks. I'm good.
Oh, the K-Swiss. Oh man, those stories.
K-Swiss.
All white K-Swiss, baby.
Boy.
So, side note real quick. First interaction with Clyde at a meet. And this man walks up in K-Swiss. Granted, I don't know him yet. Like, I know who he is, but we don't know each other yet. And he's wearing the K-Swiss. And I was like, bruh. And like, yeah, because I used to work
It's West Coast. It's
I
West
could
Coast.
spy them a mile away. Anyhow, yogurt or chocolate covered raisins?
I don't really like either.
What?
I know, right?
Yogurt, I guess.
Got
You'll play.
Ray-Bans or Oakleys?
Oh, Ray-Bans all day. Sorry, Lamar.
What's wrong with you?
Oakleys I feel like are yours, and that's it. I don't enjoy the Oakleys. I don't like how they fit.
That doesn't even sound like you. You don't usually like inferior products.
Hey,
Wow.
I mean, right now I'm in my Tom Fords, but I do have Ray-Bans. I don't have any Oakleys. I haven't had Oakleys since I was like 16, and we stole them from the mall.
Governor, are we gonna have to sit? We're gonna have to sit him down and give him all of the ocular proof of the optic testing.
We will confer about this.
Oh, all right. Last one. Hoodies or crew necks?
I don't like crew necks at all. Hoodies.
All right, gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Penn, Texas, or Florida relays?
Wait, say that again?
Penn, Texas, or Florida relays?
Oh, Florida. Not even close. It's not close.
I feel like that was a petty question.
I'd put Drake above the other two.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Shot fired. I like it.
Texas relays socially dope. Penn,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me think. I gotta find a good one for Chuck. Gotta find a good one for Clyde. Let me think now. All right.
the Jeopardy music.
I know.
All right. Would you take the top NAIA position, or would you take the top D2 position?
Okay, I think you cut out, it was very low. I think what you asked is, would I take the top NAIA position or the top D2 position?
Yes.
D2 all day. I'm a product of Division II. My first head coaching job was in Division II. I love Division II. I barely know what the NAIA is, to be honest with you. It feels very scary to me.
Okay.
That feels like that Kevin Hart skit. I don't really know what it means, but watch your tone.
Like, listen, coaching is coaching, and I respect it all. But like when I hear NAIA, I feel like it's like a rogue thing that exists outside the bounds of rules and shit. I don't know.
Outer Banks.
Okay. You are a commissioner for a day.
Of which league?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Your beloved Pac-12.
Oof.
Oh.
You get 3 moves to save it and save it permanently. What are they?
You mean like bring people in moves?
Any 3 moves.
Well, one, firing everybody that they just fired was probably a good start.
Wow.
Oh yeah, if you're unaware of that story, Google it. The Jesus.
Yeah, they tried to men in black the Pac-12.
Yeah. Listen, I'm a West Coast guy. I root for the Pac-12. Pac-12 they a little bit in trouble right now. Honestly,
you only get 3 moves. You only get 3.
Merge with the Big 12 and try to get them to adopt your name. I mean, the UCLA USC thing is that might have just been the end of it, because it's, you know, in today's world, it's the TV markets that drive it. There aren't, like, what are you going to do?
But I'm saying you could bring them back.
Oh, you got to get those back. You have to pay them. You have to get them back somehow. I mean, that's you could try to give them a Longhorns deal and let them run the conference 80-20 or something. I don't know. But no, I honestly, like, I think I would hire old boy that just left the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely do that. I'd hire him. You got to merge. You have to merge.
We need to make it into the big Pac.
There you go. The Biggie Pac. I like it. The
Oh my
Biggie
gosh.
Pac conference. I like it. Yeah, I'd hire. Well, why am I forgetting his name? Because he's brilliant, and I'm a big fan of his. The former Big Ten commissioner who just dipped out for the new gig. I would hire him. I would create the Biggie Pac, and
And you'd keep the 2 LA schools.
I mean, yes, yes. You can't keep them. You have to retrieve them. You have to retrieve them somehow.
Oh Lord.
No, it's a mess out west right now. It's a mess, and I don't think it ultimately folds. Just because, you know, what else are you gonna do? But it could become so watered down that it could just be a mid-major conference. Like it's 2 steps away from being a mid-major conference.
Yeah, we're about to have Pac-12 conference games between Boise State and San Diego State. That's coming.
Yeah.
More power to them. Don't knock it. More power to them.
You know what? Let me give you a slightly different. I don't know how to do it, but they must get the new media rights deal correct. They have to get it right.
Yeah.
Like you can't fumble it again. You just can't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, wow, I almost said would you rather. Heartbeat props. Going out to everybody out there to hear them.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Heartbeat props to my man, Big Huffins, Mr. Emmanuel Christopher Huffins, whose birthday is today. He is 76 years old. Still playing golf. He's a angry marshal on the golf course in San Antonio. Gotta love him. Gotta love him.
Bestest old guy in San Antonio.
He is. Happy birthday, Mr. Huffins.
It's the time of year where I have the most positive feelings towards things in Texas. So my heartbeat props go out to Cowboy Nation and Texans at large. It's my favorite time of year.
You should have felt what it felt like on Monday, like all day.
I'm convinced that it was just day drinking across the board.
Oh my goodness. Like it was bad. It was really bad. Like
there's lines outside Walmart, folks buying new TVs.
Trust me.
All kind of stuff going on.
I went into Dick's Sporting Goods and listen, it looked like a Cowboys store had exploded and everything in this store was 25 to 50% off.
Goodness gracious.
Oh.
So heartbeat props to my wife. She just had her birthday on the 23rd. I am now at the end of that journey that started
back in November.
And
thanks for handing it off to me now, sir. I do the end of January through the end of February gauntlet now. Thank you.
I can breathe for a little bit. I'm glad I survived.
Hey, I'm in that box. Add me to the list.
Oh, he's February. Just shout out to those Chinese people out there, because it was just Chinese Lunar New Year. Not everyone celebrates it because they maybe not know, but and there are different Asian Lunar New Years, FYI. So happy Chinese New Year to all out there.
Can you tell the people of the world how to say Happy New Year in Chinese?
Oh my gosh, 新年快乐.
One more time slower so they can get it.
It's that simple.
Yeah,
it is.
Not Gong Hei Fat Choi.
Exactly.
Her new staff will know.
Oh.
My heartbeat
Lucia,
props.
save us.
Oh my God. I'm gonna give my heartbeat props to my support staff. Not just my assistant coaches, but the trainers, managers, strength staff, academic folks. I tell people, anybody that'll listen, that a huge part of our success is the incredible support structure I have here at the University of Florida. We couldn't do what we do without them. And they've been crushing it since we got back to school. So big heartbeat props to all of them.
That's awesome. Well, another one in the books. Just keep coming back like a boomerang.
And another one.
We are, you're gonna have to do some math off camera, but I feel like we are rapidly approaching show number 150.
I'm pretty sure we'll work you on that.
No, I don't think so, because we started in March. 52 times 3 is 156. So we should be right around 150. You're gonna have to do some math when we get off the show.
Okay. I used to keep it as a running number, and then
you couldn't wait till we got off the show to tell her that.
Now I'm scrolling. Anyhow.
Oh.
All right. Well, everyone, have fun this weekend.
Why call her out in front of everybody? In front of the
Exactly.
I just don't want us to miss it. We missed show 100.
Again, we could have talked about that off camera.
Oh,
Should get us out of here.
Have fun, everyone. Travel safe. I know. And we'll see each other next week. Maybe not you, Lamar. Bye, everyone.
Oh man.
When the lights come on, the road just get to running. When the lights come on, opponents smash the plumbing. Heard you like it warm, hot knife the butter. Truth pin them hard, knock them off that rebuttal. Tsunami, tidal wave to your puddle. Tough love, punch you in the arms, little brothers. Athletics LLC, there's no others. Track and field's pacing with pill to go further. Hey, Wile E. Coyote, it's road runners. Feels like you know us, you've been with us the whole summer. If not for this quarantine, these four corners wouldn't be here, but we here, so start learning. You gotta earn your stripes, gotta get your scars. Show you how to fight, but show us who you are. You lack experience, but still you wanna talk. And who is actually talking to you? Circle's kinda small. Heads prevail when the backbone's strong. Gotta keep it coming, no, it won't last long. Pass and failed and sell the sad song. And if you don't check yourself, then that's wrong. Just trying to give you the real that you asked for. So why you keep cutting us off to ask more? We put it in slow-mo, but you fast forward. Athletics LLC, the task force.